Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 2, Book 24, number 494. Narrated by Adi bin Hatim. While I was sitting with Allah's Apostle, P. B. U. H. Two person came to him. One of them complained about his poverty and the other complained about the prevalence of robberies. Allah's Apostle said, "As regards stealing and robberies, there will shortly come a time when a caravan will go to Mecca, from Medina, without any guard. And regarding poverty, the hour, day of judgment, will not be established till one of you wanders about with his object of charity and will not find anybody to accept it, and, no doubt, each one of you will stand in front of Allah and there will be neither a curtain nor an interpreter between him and Allah will ask him, 'Did not I give you wealth?' He will reply in the affirmative. Allah will further ask, 'Didn't I send a messenger to you?' And again that person will reply in the affirmative. Then he will look to his right and he will see nothing but hellfire, and then he will look to his left and will see nothing but hellfire. And sir, each one of you should save himself from the fire even by giving half of a date fruit, in charity. And if you do not find a half date fruit, then you can do it through saying a good pleasant word to your brethren." See Hadith number 793, Volume 4. Volume 2, Book 24, number 495. Narrated by Abu Musa. Thy Prophet, P. B. U. H. said, "A time will come upon the people when a person will wander about with gold as zakat and will not find anybody to accept it. And one man will be seen followed by 40 women to be their guardian because of scarcity of men and great number of women." Volume 2, Book 24, number 496. Narrated by Abu Masud. When the verses of charity were revealed, we used to work as porters. A man came and distributed objects of charity in abundance. And they, the people, said, "He is showing off." And another man came and gave a small measure of food grains. They said, "Allah is not in need of this small amount of charity." And then the divine inspiration came. Those who criticize such of the believers who give in charity voluntarily and those who could not find to give in charity except what is available to them. 9.79. Volume 2, Book 24, number 497. Narrated by Abu Masud al-Ansar. Whenever Allah's Apostle, P. B. U. H. ordered us to give in charity, we used to go to the market and work as porters and get a special measure of grain, and then give it in charity. Those were the days of poverty, and today some of us have 100,000. Volume 2, Book 24, number 498. Narrated by Adi bin Hatim heard the Prophet saying, "Save yourself from hell fire even by giving half a date fruit in charity." Volume 2, Book 24, number 499. Narrated by Aisha. A lady along with her 2 daughters came to me asking for some alms. But she found nothing with me except 1 date which I gave to her, and she divided it between her 2 daughters, and did not eat anything herself, and then she got up and went away. Then the Prophet came in and I informed him about this story. He said, "Whoever is put to trial by these daughters and he treats them generously, with benevolence, then these daughters will act as a shield for him from hell fire." See Hadith number 24, Volume 8. Volume 2, Book 24, number 500. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. A man came to the Prophet and asked, "O Allah's Apostle, which charity is the most superior in reward?" He replied, "The charity which you practice while you are healthy, niggardly and afraid of poverty and wish to become wealthy." Do not delay it to the time of approaching death and then say, give so much to such and such, and so much to such and such. And it has already belonged to such and such, as it is too late. Volume 2, Book 24, number 501. Narrated by Aisha. Some of the wives of the Prophet asked him, who amongst us will be the first to follow you, i.e. die after you? He said, whoever has the longest hand. So they started measuring their hands with a stick, and Sauda's hand turned out to be the longest. When Zainab bint Jahsh died first of all in the caliphate of Umar, we came to know that the long hand was a symbol of practicing charity, so she was the first to follow the Prophet, and she used to love to practice charity. Sauda died later in the caliphate of Muawiyah. Volume 2, Book 24, number 502. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's Apostle, P.B. U.H. said, a man said that he would give something in charity. He went out with his object of charity and unknowingly gave it to a thief. Next morning the people said that he had given his object of charity to a thief. On hearing that, he said, O Allah, all the praises are for you. I will give alms again. And so he again went out with his alms and, unknowingly, gave it to an adulteress. Next morning the people said that he had given his alms to an adulteress last night. The man said, O Allah, all the praises are for you. I gave my alms to an adulteress. I will give alms again. So he went out with his alms again and, unknowingly, gave it to a rich person. The people, next morning, said that he had given his alms to a wealthy person. He said, O Allah, all the praises are for you. I had given alms to a thief, to an adulteress, and to a wealthy man. Then someone came and said to him, the alms which you gave to the thief might make him abstain from stealing, and that given to the adulteress might make her abstain from illegal sexual intercourse, adultery, and that given to the wealthy man might make him take a lesson from it and spend his wealth which Allah has given him, in Allah's cause. Volume 2, Book 24, number 503. Narrated by Ma'in bin Yazid. My grandfather, my father and I gave the pledge of allegiance to Allah's Apostle. The Prophet got me engaged and then got me married. One day I went to the Prophet with a complaint. My father Yazid had taken some gold coins for charity and kept them with a man in the mosque, to give them to the poor. But I went and took them and brought them to him, my father. My father said, by Allah, I did not intend to give them to you. I took the case to Allah's Apostle. On that Allah's Apostle said, O Yazid, you will be rewarded for what you intended. O man, whatever you have taken is yours. Volume 2, Book 24, number 504. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet, P.B. U.H. said, 7 people will be shaded by Allah under his shade on the day when there will be no shade except his. They are, 1. A just ruler. 2. A young man who has been brought up in the worship of Allah, i.e. worship Allah alone, sincerely from his childhood. 3. A man whose heart is attached to the mosque, who offers the 5 compulsory congregational prayers in the mosque. 4. 2 persons who love each other only for Allah's sake and they meet and part in Allah's cause only. 5. A man who refuses the call of a charming woman of noble birth for an illegal sexual intercourse with her and says, I am afraid of Allah. 6. A person who practices charity so secretly that his left hand does not know what his right hand has given, i.e. nobody knows how much he has given in charity. 7. A person who remembers Allah in seclusion and his eyes get flooded with tears.